Hello, everybody. It is I, Claude Buzz, and here with you for another short share. And this one has been motivated by Kent Hovind's blubbing and carrying on his Rumble channel. Now, Kent, of course, you might know, has been recently lost his main YouTube channel, and he's trying to get around that ban evasion by creating other channels as well. Meantime, he's to be found on Rumble, and he's just carrying on as normal. And the thing that particularly got to me is that he is now rambling on or rumbling on with some sort of a letter to President Trump. And he's pleading with President Trump for a pardon, although he seems to go further and want money too. With Kent, it's always about the money. And just unbelievable, because you might recall the last time during President Trump's first presidency, Kent did the same thing and he was totally ignored. So, of course, that was the right thing to happen, but just in case, we do need to be aware of what Kent is up to. Now, almost everything about the case, his historic case, Kent lies about. And hi, Phantom, hi to Gangster as well. And he just lies over just about everything. So he drags up once again this prosecutor with the surname of Aitchison, who was a terrible person. But the actions of Aitchison with a young child, disgusting as they are, there's no reason that Kent is actually innocent. So he's rather stupid to bring that up. But then, of course, Kent is stupid. Hello, captive desk. So, in fact, the crimes of Aitchison are not too dissimilar from those of Kent Hovind's friends Chris Jones and Brady Byram involving children. Now, Kent excuses his friend Brady on the basis that it was 30 or 40 years ago and one of his own children. I mean, what the, to use the vernacular saying, what? That's unbelievable. That's Kent. That's Kent for you. He'll also say that Aitchison led the SWAT team arresting him. That wasn't the case. And he'll say that Aitchison played a major part in the prosecution. Actually, that's not the case either. And all he did was file some dockets after Kent had been convicted. After. Just remember that. And even if any of that was the case, it doesn't make any difference to Kent's guilt or innocence. He was found guilty by a jury of his peers. And whatever he did in the way of appeals failed every step of the way. Now, the other thing that Kent does, and I find this particularly reprehensible too, is he attacks the judge, Judge Rogers. And he says that she said his crime was worse than rape. I can't say the word, it'll get censored. And that when he actually paid for the transcript, it had been deleted. Well, actually, from the woman, Jen Fishburne, who was actually present for all the trial and a Christian, said that it was actually Eric, Kent's estranged son, although they were best of buddies then, who made that statement. Now, he will also then say, he's got these affidavits. They were sworn a year or two after the trial. And funnily enough, one of the people swearing these affidavits was a pastor who'd also been through the same problems, not paying his dues and been taken to court over that too. So, birds of a feather flock together. I wonder if that's a Bible verse. Probably not. It's too sensible. Anyway, he'll then go on to say that Judge Rogers attacked some school teachers for teaching the Bible or praying in school. Now, that's not true either, and there's a difference, and it's an important difference. The important thing is that those teachers had reached a legal agreement following a lawsuit whatever years before, as to not to pray and not to do all the Christian stuff in the school. Fair enough. Then they broke that agreement. So that's what they were prosecuted for, and that's what they were found guilty for. There's quite an important difference there, Kent, but I don't think you probably have the brain matter to actually work it out. Anyway, Kent was actually rightfully convicted of structuring and failing to withhold employee taxes. That's the sort of things that he did. There might have been something else involved as well. Now, you think about it. He's always talking about his intellectual property, the DVDs, the books. Well, when he was selling those crappy DVDs and books, somebody had to pay tax on that. Was probably ending up in his pocket. Of course, Kent would never admit anything. Failing to withholding tax from employees and failing to pay that tax-related taxes that he was able to, or he thought he was going to hide his income and expenditure through structuring. It's exactly what he did. It's exactly what criminals do too. Because the only right thing is that originally it was there to stop crime from criminals, but they soon realized that there were people like Kent Hovind out there that were trying to cash in and not pay their dues to society by structuring too. So I think it's wonderful that he was caught doing that, and he did structure to avoid the bank having to report the transactions. He thought he was going to get away with it, but he was too clever for his own good. Or should it be too stupid for his own good? I'm not exactly sure. Now, his case can't be overturned now. The most he can get is a pardon, which means, in effect, he was guilty but gets pardoned for what he did. He's totally dreaming about getting money. Just pay me the money you owe and I'll sit back and be quiet. Kent, you're not owed any money. In fact, I would say it's the other way around. I think our people here, viewers, should be contacting the IRS and asking when they're going to recoup the money from Kent that he owed as part of his wicked doing. Because as far as I know, he's never paid that. Now, I've just recently and today reposted a clip of Kent, and it's a few years old now. And he says that he didn't file a tax return in 28 years. That alone should give his mindless supporters pause for thought. He didn't file a tax return in 28 years. So what was he doing? How was he living? Where was his money coming from? Why wasn't he paying tax on it? Why was he employing a whole lot of people in his business? And no, they weren't missionaries. They had a time clock. They had to stamp in and out. That was a bit of stupid, wasn't it, Ken? You're such a mean-spirited person. You didn't want anybody getting anything, and that or getting away with a few minutes, here and there, and that was one of the things that got you caught, having a time clock, trying to argue that they were missionaries, clocking in and out. What a load of rubbish. Anyway, so do look at those clips that I've put up recently. The other thing you could do, since Kent is asking people to contact President Trump, is that you could write or email President Trump affirming that Kent Hovind is a fake doctor masquerading as a science teacher who wants all the rights and privileges of a U.S. citizen without doing any of the paying. That's right. He wants all the rights and privileges of a U.S. citizen without doing the necessary paying. And I say that is totally unacceptable and unfair. So he's a narcissist. He's got what he deserves. So I don't know if anybody else is coming on or wants to say anything. but I did want to just go on and make this point. He is also saying that his friends should be contacting a number of other people as well. Let's just see if I can find that. Yes, President Donald Trump, Mrs. Trump, J.D. Vance, Alabama Republican or Rep. Shomari Figueres, Rick Scott, Ashley Moody, Josh Hawley, Senator Ted Cruz, John Kennedy, Pam Bondi, or whatever, Bondi, Charlie Kirk, Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, Elon Musk, John Fetterman, Cash Patel. They're apparently all people who love the Lord. I'm not sure about Elon Musk loving the Lord. That's good rhyme, that. Does Elon Musk love the Lord, Claude? Well, anyway. We won't go too much further about that. So, well, if there's nobody else going to come on, that's what the Claude wanted to get across today. And do please look at the, I'll put them eventually through the links to what has Kent said about his tax attitude in the past. It's obvious. It is so obvious. Oh, it's just so sad that Kent is just a lying piece of shit, because he actually gives nice Christians a bad name. And there are some. There are. So there we go. Oh, I just see Spooky in the audience, but I'm about to knock it on the head, Spooky. But do go and look at my recently uploaded videos and shorts. Okay, thank you. We'll say goodbye.